is Richard, and I work for the Orange County Library System. We're currently here at the Washington Park branch in Orlando, Florida, and we're capturing memories from our community. It's February 15th, 2012. Please tell us your name and where you're from.
My name is Lerelei Anderson Francis. I'm originally a New Yorker. I moved to Orlando in 1980, and I'm here today to talk about a wonderful experience I had in Eatonville. I opened up an ice cream shop in the 90s in Eatonville called Scoops. I didn't name it Scoops, but my girlfriend Sonia, who's a lifelong resident of Orlando, named it Scoops. It was a perfect name because after that I was known as the Scoops Lady. And at the time, Eatonville did not have a library and didn't have a central place to meet. So the community adopted Scoops for that purpose, kind of a meeting place. And then also the high achieving youth in the neighborhood in Eatonville adopted my shop as a place to do homework and to practice their instruments and to talk about school matters and extracurricular matters and their aspirations and goals. And I was very privileged to be there. It was a privilege, a real privilege.
Let me ask you, what was your inspiration for opening Scoops?
Well, I'd always heard that if you wanted to start a business, then you should think about an experience that you had in your life that maybe you enjoyed, or maybe a job that you had. And for me, I'm a graduate of the State University of New York at Stony Brook. And while I was a student, I worked in the ice cream parlor in my dormitory. So some people going through college worked in the library or the bookstore, and I was fortunate enough to work in a ice cream shop that was located in the basement of my dorm. And I really enjoyed that, and I got known for remembering people's orders, so I could start making the orders just when they came in. And when you're stressed with schoolwork and exams, it's kind of cool to be able to go into an ice cream shop and have someone make your favorite sundae or your favorite milkshake. I also enjoy talking to people, so it was kind of a natural for me to open an ice cream shop. The next challenge was where, and then also it was quite a long time ago when I worked as a student in an ice cream shop. So the first thing I did was I volunteered. I walked into an ice cream shop and I said, I'm here to volunteer. Put me to work. I'd like to learn everything that there is to know about an ice cream shop, even cleaning the bathrooms. And I told them I had picked out an area that I wouldn't be their competition. I had learned that probably the best place to open up an ice cream shop was an area with a lot of foot traffic. And I identified Eatonville as that place.
What was your most popular flavor of ice cream?
Butter pecan. That's the other thing. Before I even opened the shop, I joined an ice cream association. It's still in existence. I don't remember what the name of it is, a National Ice Cream Association. So I would get their newsletters, and then I would poll people and watch people as they went into other ice cream shops. I'd ask them what their favorite flavor is, and I found out that for people of African descent, butter pecan was their #1 flavor. I also learned from people that owned, from owners of ice cream shops, that besides Europeans, that African Americans were great consumers of ice cream. Like Europeans, African Americans buy ice cream for the whole family. So that was kind of exciting. So that's how it started. Then I started collecting equipment for the shop, and that also was a journey. I got my first cash register from a pharmacist in College Park who was closing his pharmacy that also had a luncheonette counter. And he said, well, I know you're going to do ice cream, and I like that idea, and you do want to limit your menu, but you may want to have some hot dogs or chili dogs. And yes, this was a family business that we had, so my husband was involved too, and he was a great maker of chili dogs. So it was nice on a Saturday to have the chili dog smell, and then butter pecan ice cream and the sundaes and the hot fudge. So I kept it very clean, so people appreciated that. The community appreciated it. And because I was kind of an outgoing person in Central Florida, not only did the shop draw people within the community of Eatonville, but also throughout Central Florida. So it became kind of a curiosity, first to go to Eatonville and then to see, well, who could be at Scoops today? So that was kind of fun.
Well, let me ask you, did you make your own ice cream?
I started out buying a commercial product, but then I was approached by a couple from Pine Hills that had an ice cream shop and were closing their ice cream shop. But it turned out that they had a large wholesale business. They were selling to various ethnic communities within Florida, Georgia, and other parts of the South. And they were selling to hotels and grocery stores. And they were looking not to form another retail business, but to have a manufacturing space. But I did all the build out actually myself too. But I constructed a ice cream manufacturing plant within the shop. So my butter pecan ice cream had extra butter pecans. The Oreo cookies and cream ice cream had more Oreos. There was a gentleman that made excellent pound cakes. So when it was strawberry season, which would be about now in Florida, I had an outdoor market that would save me their strawberries, and this gentleman would go and get those strawberries, and he would actually make this special strawberry sauce for the strawberry sundaes in the ice cream shop. So I guess, we had very special, specific things. And then also this couple was from the Caribbean. The husbands, that was their last name, the husbands, they created wonderful flavors like soursop and also rum raisin. And their rum raisin ice cream was made with overproof rum. They actually soaked these raisins. And I wouldn't let anyone under the age of 18 have the ice cream. So that was always it. No, you can't have that ice cream. That's for people over the age of 18. But yes, the husbands were the ones that manufactured the ice cream. So everything was done in the shop.
How was your business welcomed with the community of Eatonville?
Well, at first, I didn't get many people. And I didn't know why. But then I learned that what I would have to do is actually go door to door. So that's what I did. One Saturday, I went door to door, knocked on people's doors, handed out, I had a flyer, and I would introduce myself. And I'd say, well, I have the ice cream shop. And so once I did that, then people started to come. Some of the first people that came to my shop, the first group that came to my shop was the Church of God in Christ that Pastor Beecham was presided over. And I looked out and I saw this huge group of people. And it turned out it was one of the ministries at the church. And the pastor said, well, go up there and see if that ice cream shop is open. You can meet there. So then after that, I was an extension of the church, which was great business for me. So that was really a welcome sight. And I just feel very grateful to Pastor Beecham and his congregation for embracing me in that way. The Life Center was also a church that embraced me, and they would have their youth groups come up to the shop and meet. I did a lot with school groups in general, including Rollins College. So I really have to say it was the entire community embraced me.
How long was your establishment open? How many years?
About 4 years. I was there 4 years. Yeah, and So it was really a very pleasant experience. I had a cup next to the register that people could put their change in, and that was like my tip cup, except it really wasn't my tip cup. It was for children and adults who maybe weren't able to buy ice cream. They knew that they could always look in the tip cup and get what they needed. So that was kind of interesting. Also, I had some children that weren't that well off, and they would come up with no shoes on, and they'd say to me, you know, Mrs. Francis, what you really need to have is a mat so that we could wipe our feet before we come in your shop. I'm like, no problem. So I put a mat out. And then I learned something about dogs in small communities. That what we might see, those of us that don't live in small communities, as stray dogs are not stray dogs at all. So I could tell when different groups of children were coming out by the dogs that preceded them, because the dogs would walk up first and sit in front of my shop, and I'd say, oh, I know I'm going to get visited by this person or this group of children. So that was kind of interesting. And then also, in keeping with the Zora Neale Hurston legacy of Eatonville, I was also very grateful to be there when kids could come by the shop and say, well, we're going down to the lake to go fishing. And so those kinds of experiences were very special, that I was part of that. Or we're going down to look at the ducks. So there really was a small town flavor, a genuine small town flavor. When someone passed, you went outside and you stood in reverence. So that was interesting.